Have you gone through the note? I'm sure you haven't. Anyways, I shared many examples for switch also. Okay, so here I would just like to explain two, three examples that I explained in the previous class has been added here. Okay, the second and third examples for switch that you can see here have already been explained in the previous class. One example that I gave here, the first example for switch that I would like to explain once. Okay, just have a look at it. I hope you all can view the screen that I'm sharing. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, so basically, okay, see, there is another use of using switch. Okay, whenever suppose you want, whenever you want to write a menu-driven program is you would want the user to choose what he or she would like to execute. Okay, suppose for example, in this case, in this particular program, what we are doing is we okay the user, okay, this program is calculating the areas of a circle, rectangle and a triangle. Triangle. Okay, so basically there will be a menu. In that menu, just as you go to restaurants and there you get menus, right, for food items, for you get bar menus, you get food menus. So likewise here also we will make a menu. Okay, and in that menu what we are doing is we are we have different choices. Okay, say for example, there are three choices in the menu. First choice will be to execute the area of a circle, second choice will be to execute the area of a rectangle, and the third will be to execute the area of a triangle. Okay, so basically there will be three different choices, options that the user can choose. Fine. Now what we will do is we will write the program in such a way that we will provide the menu to the user according to the need. Okay, according to the choice of the user will choose one of these three mm, items. Okay, one of these three options. Fine. Either he will choose say the first item, which is to calculate the area of a circle, or the second option, which is to calculate the area of a rectangle, or the third option to calculate the area of a triangle. And apart from these three, okay, apart from these three, if he chooses any other option, okay, which is not in the menu, then it will, you know display an invalid choice. Okay, it will be an invalid choice. So this is what, these are called menu driven programs, and switch cases are mainly used to write menu driven programs. Okay, for example, there is also another example of best example of switch case. It is the calculator. So you have a calculator, and using the calculator you can do multiple operations. You can add two numbers, you can divide two numbers, you can subtract two numbers, you can perform different types of arithmetic operations using the calculator, right? But you don't do it all at once, you do it one at a time. Okay, so based on the user will take the calculator, he will be having some numbers, and based on those numbers and the requirement, he will be performing some arithmetic operations, right? So that is another best example of using switch case. So there, when you will be designing calculators, the same way you do it. Okay, so that is one assignment for you. You have to design a calculator. Okay, I'll tell you how to do it. Anyways, so that is again, one example where we use switch cases. Okay, a menu driven program. So menu driven is where the user will be given a menu that, okay, there are separate operations like you can add, you can subtract, you can divide, you can multiply, you can calculate the percentage. There are different you have the scientific calculators now, so you know that you can even calculate square roots, logarithmics, log values, you can calculate exponential values. There are multiple different types of operations that you can perform using scientific calculators as well. But we are not talking about scientific calculators for a time being. Let's just stick to the normal usual calculators. Okay, so there basically you have the four basic arithmetic operators: plus, minus, into, and divide. So you know that you have these four different operators, and you once you take the calculator, based on the need, the user will use the particular arithmetic operation, right? So that can be done using switch cases. Okay, so that is one example of menu driven. So you are given the menu of four different operations, just choose one of the operations and perform the particular function, right? So this is also one example of menu driven program, this one. Okay, so here we will be calculating the area of three shapes. One is circle, one is rectangle, one is triangle. Okay, and based on the option that the user will give, that based on that option, that particular shape will be considered and the area for that shape will be calculated. Fine. So here we have taken some variables. Okay, So it depends whatever variable you wish to take. Then you see these are some statements that will be displayed on the output screen at the very initial stage. Okay, enter your choice. So you are giving the freedom to the user to enter his or her choice. Fine. So if he presses A, then it will calculate the area of the circle. If he presses B, okay, if he goes for option B, it will calculate the area of a rectangle, and if he goes for option C, it will calculate the area of a triangle. Okay, so these are the three choices, A, B, C. So based on this, the user is to provide a choice. Okay, since choice has been taken as integer, so this is okay, so this anyway, so since we are taking characters here A, B, C, fine. So you can give person C also, okay, fine, and person choice. Now we go to switch directly. So whatever choice the user gives, okay, it can be an A, it can be a B, it can be a C. So whatever choice the user gives, okay, that particular choice must match with one of the case labels given below. Fine. So we have three case labels. Case A. So A is for what? It is for area of circle. So for this, okay, for if this choice, whatever choice the user gives, that choice matches with A, then A was to calculate the area of a circle. So whatever operations are required, okay, whatever statements are required to write for executing the area of a circle, that will be okay, that you have to write it. If the say the user presses B, okay, then choice will be B. So the value of the choice will be B, and this B matches with this B, then this particular block of statements will be executed. If the choice is C, okay, if the user presses C, then this case will be executed. Okay, this case will be control will jump to this particular case, and this particular block will be executed. Now what do we have inside these blocks? See, for A, we are calculating the area of a circle. So for, you should know the formula, of course. What is the formula? Pi r square, right? Area of a circle is pi r square. So this is wrong. Area of a circle is pi r square. Okay, so you have to simply provide the input, okay, for the radius, and this is the formula. You get the area of the circle AC, and then you just simply print it and you break means because you want to execute only one block, either you will be executing circle or rectangle or triangle, right? So you want to execute the result for only one particular shape. So after you are done, you have to exit from the entire switch statement. So for that, we are using the break statement. I told you already, we will discuss about break, continue, and go to. These are three different jump statements that we will, discuss in details in the next topic, that is loop control structures. Okay, that we are going to start today itself. So there we will discuss about break, go to, and continue in more details. But for the time being, you must know that break simply breaks or terminates the normal execution of the program. It will, in whichever block it is written, it will exit that entire block once it is executed. Fine. So in each, however, in switch, this is not a compulsory statement. Okay, this is an optional statement. If you want all the three cases to display one after the other, then you should not give break. If you want only one option, okay, only one case label based on the choice, okay, you want only the matched case label to display, in that case you have to give break. So whichever case label matches, that particular body will get executed, and once the break is executed, it will simply terminate the switch statement. Okay, so for so for the circle we have done it. Now for see, what was the choice? What was for B? B was for area of rectangle. So for rectangle, you know the area L into B, right? So for that you have to enter the length and breadth, okay, through scanf. Then calculate the area using the formula and simply print it and break. And for C, C was for triangle. So triangle is half into base into height, right? So it is half into base into height. So this is the formula. So accordingly, whatever inputs you have to take the inputs, okay, take the necessary variables, take the inputs, and calculate the area using the formula, output it and break. Fine. Now, if the user has given any other choice, say the user has given D, or the user has given F or G or K. Okay, so these are some options that are not in this menu. So in that case, what will happen? Any other choice apart from A, B or C will directly go to the default block. Okay, so here the default block is not given. Okay, here the default block is not given. So if in case the user gives any other option, okay, other than A, B or C, then you can just give a block like this, printf invalid choice. Okay, you can also add one here. Okay. Okay. Any other option other than ABC will directly go to invalid choice. Okay. So this is the message that will get displayed and it will terminate the program execution. So is this clear? So here the output has been given. Let me just maximize the size. See, if you can see, enter your choice. Okay, so there will be three choices, one, two, three. So as I said, here A, B, C are taken as integers. So it is A, B, C are integers, okay? So whatever value you press, say 1, 2, 3, okay? 1 for area, 2 is for rectangle or 3 is for triangle, okay? Then whatever, number you press or whatever character you press based on that, okay? The option will be chosen. So 1 has been given, so 1 was for area of circle. So if you press 1 or if you press A, okay? If you press an A also, the area of circle will be chosen. So case label A will be executed. So this will be the match, this will be the match, and accordingly, once you get inside this block, you will be first allowed to enter the radius of the circle. Fine. And once you calculate the radius, then you calculate the area, and accordingly, you get the desired result. Fine. So that is what has been done in the output. Radius has been given, and finally, the area of the circle is calculated. So I hope this example is clear to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So now we will start with another topic, which is loop control structures. Just 1 minute. Huh? Okay. Back to introduction. Acha, Punya Sano, I've switched on the fan actually. Punya San?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, in the previous topic that we covered, that was decision making. So you all know by now what decision making is, right? So you will be given some condition, and based on the validity of that condition, right? So whether or not that condition is true or false, based on that, some decisions will be made. And what type of decisions are made? If the condition is true, whatever statements are there in the true block will be executed. If the decision is wrong or false, then whatever block is given, okay, under the false section, that will be executed. So this we have already seen using if else and switch. Now we will talk about loop control structure. So what is a loop? Okay, so even here we will, we will encounter conditions. Okay, even here we will come across conditions, and based on the conditions, okay, until the condition is satisfied, a particular block of statements will go on repeating again and again. So here loop is when something is repeated again and again based on a given condition. Here also we will be making use of conditions, provided the, the block of statements will go on repeating itself until the condition is, you know, true. Once it is false, then the repetition will stop immediately. Okay, so that we will learn here. You see, you may have encountered situations when a block of code needs to be executed several number of times, right? So in general, statements are executed sequentially. The first statement in a function is executed first, followed by the second, and so on. Programming languages provide various control structures that allow for more complicated execution paths. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times. Given below is the general form of a loop statement in most of the programming languages. So this is the flow chart. Okay, this is the flow chart. As you can see, this is the starting point. Okay, so here how does it work? You see, there will be a condition. Just like decision making statements, loop control statements also makes use of condition. Okay, and you have to check the condition. So if the condition is found to be true, okay, there will be a block of statements. Okay, those will be executed. Okay, then it will be executed once, then you again go back, check for the condition. Again, if it is satisfied, you again go execute the block. Again, you check for the condition. Again, if it is satisfied, you again execute the block. So if you see, every time, the block is executed, the condition is checked. Okay, if the condition is found to be true, again you go and execute that particular block. Again you come back. Again, if the condition is true, you go back. Just for example, let me just tell you one thing. Suppose I'm sitting in a classroom, okay, and I have asked roll numbers 1 to 50 to enter the classroom. Okay, I have asked roll numbers 1 to 50 to enter the classroom, and I have asked the CR to stand near the door. Okay, all the students are made to stand in a line. Okay, they will enter roll number wise inside the room. Fine, they will enter the classroom roll number wise one by one. Okay, and who will check whether the students are valid students or not, right? So I have to know, because I have given a condition that all students from roll number 1 to 50 will enter the classroom. So that is a condition from 1 to 50. Okay, so now I will make the CR stand near the door. Students will be made to stand in a line, and one by one, roll number wise, they will be made to stand in a line, roll number wise. Okay, from 1 to 50, CDD they will stand, and I am telling the CR. CR will basically, he will act like the doorkeeper. Okay, so he or she will simply, before the student is allowed to enter, he or she will first check for the condition. So what they will do, they will, first, the first student will come first near the CR. The CR will ask, are you roll number 1? If he yes acknowledges yes, then he will be made to enter. So that is the block, statement block. Okay, he has entered, that means that is the statement block that executed. Next, the CR will again ask, are you roll number 2? So that is the condition. Okay, the CR will ask, are you roll number 2? If the second student acknowledges yes, okay, if we give a positive acknowledgement that yes, I am roll number 2, then the second student will be allowed to enter the room. Okay, so that is again the second execution of the same block. That means he has entered the room. So what is the common thing that I'm doing? The common thing that I'm doing is I'm letting the students enter the room. That is common to all, right? So the block of statements that will be executed, that will be the same. There is only one block of statement, but we are repeating that. We will have to repeat that. So if I'm allowing the students to enter the room, so that is also a repetitive process. The students are entering, right? First student has entered, second student has entered. So that is the task, that is the block of statements. But are they allowed to enter the room directly? No. Initially, a condition is checked. Only if that condition is satisfied, the student is allowed to enter the room. Right? So that is the block of statements. So this block of statements, this it will go on repeating until the condition is found to be true. Okay, so now the third student comes, the CR will ask that, okay, are you roll number 3? If he says yes, then go, get inside the room. So the student gets inside the room. Okay, next roll number 4 comes, CR will ask, are you roll number 4? Yes, he is roll number 4. Then what happens is like this. Okay, again he will be asked to get inside the room. Okay, so ultimately getting inside the room is the common thing that you are doing, but that depends completely on the validity of the condition. Okay, now this repeats till roll number 50, suppose. Okay, this repeats roll number 50. Now suppose another roll number 56. Okay, another roll number 56 comes in. Okay, in between, somewhere in between. Okay, then CR will ask, are you roll number say 40 or 46 or whatever. Okay, so is your roll number, sorry, since I gave the range from 1 to 50. Okay, as I have given the range that students from roll number 1 to 50 will enter, so the CR will ask, is your roll number between 1 to 50? And that student bears a roll number of 56. Okay, so the student will immediately say, no, my roll number is not between 1 to 50, I am 56 and bigger than 50. Since the condition is now not satisfied, it is found to be false, then the CR will simply ask him to exit. Okay, he will not be allowed to enter the classroom. Instead, he will be asked to exit from that area. Right, so that is how the loop control structures work. Have you understood the example that I gave through this flowchart? It's a real life example. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's a very simple example that I gave. So basically, the only thing, see, the difference is in decision making. There, you will check the condition. If the condition is true, a block will be executed only once. If the condition is false, the block will be not the block will not execute. True block will not execute. False block will execute. That is what we learn. Here, we will check for conditions, and based on that conditions, there will be a block of statements which will be executed on repeat. So that is what a loop is. Loop is something that is executed again and again. Okay, that is why we call this loop control structures. And who will control this loop? The condition will control the loop. That is why it is called loop control. Okay, so there must be a controlling agent that will control the execution of this loop. Okay, this is the loop. As you can see, this is the loop, and who will control this loop? This particular condition. So even in loop control structures, we make use of conditions, and based on this condition, either the loop will be repeated or it will be terminated. Fine. So now, since we're talking about loop control structures, there are three basic types of loop control structures. Okay, while loop, for loop, do while loop. So definitions have been given here. We will be discussing each one by one. See here, starting with the for loop, let us first go through the definition. It executes a sequence of statements multiple times and abbreviates the code that manages the loop variable. So basically, whether it be the for loop, the while loop, or the do while loop. Okay, all these three loops does the same thing. Okay, all these three loops, while, for, and do while, they do the same thing. And what do? They will implement this. Okay, so whether you are using for, you are using while, or you are using do while, you are doing it. These are called loop control statements. Okay, for, while, and do while are called loop control statements. And what are they used for? They are simply used for implementing the for implementing this particular flow. Okay, so this particular flow chart, they do the same thing, but they have different ways of doing it. Okay, they have different ways, they do it in different ways. So first we will simply look at the for statement. So see, the syntax looks somewhat like this. Okay, the for statement looks somewhat like this. See, this is the for statement. Okay, inside the for statement also has got a body. Okay, the body starts with the braces, as you can see. Then inside the braces you have some statements. So you can have a single statement also, or you can have a block of statements also. So this is the entire body of the for statement. Okay, so there's a meaning to each of these written. See, for is the keyword that you have to use, okay, at the very beginning, followed by the brackets. Inside the brackets, we have three particular segments. Okay, we have three particular segments. First is init. Init means initialization. Okay, so here you have to initialize a variable. Okay, then you will be checking for some condition on that variable. Okay, so as I said, roll numbers 1 to 50, please enter the classroom. Okay, so suppose I have taken a variable a, okay, and I have taken that a to be 1, because I have to start from a number, right? 1 to 50 means what? I have to start counting from the number 1. I have to start with a number, I need an initial value, right? So that initial value will be given here, a equal to 1. Then what will be the condition? A is less than or equal to 50, because I have asked students from 1 to 50 to enter the room. So till 50, okay, the condition will be checked. So here, say this is a equal to 1. Okay, I'm just writing it here, wait, so that you get a better understanding. Say, eh, say a equal to 1. Okay, so this is for roll number 1. Till when will the condition continue? Till roll number is equal to 50. So a must be less than or equal to 50. Okay, and increment. So here increment, so this can be increment or this can be decrement. It depends. So you have learned about the increment decrement operators. So that we will make use here. Okay, increment decrement operators are full-fledgedly made using for statement or while or do while. Okay, so why do we need increment or decrement? Because you see, you are starting with roll number 1 and you have to reach to roll number what, 50. So you have to go on increasing the value one by one, right? First you have checked, okay, roll number 1. So is roll number 1 less than equal to 50? Yes, correct. Get inside the block. So what is the getting inside the block means what? Get inside the classroom and sit. That is the only task you have to do. Right. Next phase will be the increment or decrement. Okay, since we are starting with no, we are starting with smaller number to a bigger number, so this will not decrement, it will increment. That's it. Okay. But anyways, you can have increment also, you can have decrement also. It depends on the logic that you have applied. Here we will make use of only increment. Okay. So here, so just understand the flow. First, this section, the first initialization part will be executed. Then the condition will be checked. Then you come inside the block. Okay, based on the condition, if it is found to be true, you come inside the block. Once the block is executed, now you go to the increment part or decrement part. Then they will either increase the value or they will decrease the value. Value means this particular value. Okay, in our case, it will increase the value because roll number 1 has entered the classroom. Now it is time for roll number 2 to get checked. So now A will be incremented by 1 and A will become what? 2. Okay, now, so if you see, let me just show you the flow of statements. Okay, so initially, I'm just showing it in straight lines. Okay, so basically from here the flow will come here and then this. Okay, this, so this is the flow actually. Okay, once the for statement start executing, first this will be displayed, then okay, the value will be initialized, then the condition will be checked, then we will not go for increment or decrement, okay, because you are at the first value now. So once the condition is checked for the first value, you come inside the block, execute it. Then in the next phase, you increment the value. Okay, you can increment the value by 1 or you can increment the value by 2. It depends. Okay, it's up to you. Either you add or you subtract. Okay, so you increment or decrement. After this, what are you doing? You are again coming back to the condition. Okay, you're coming back to the condition. So this is how the flow takes place. Here to here, then here. Okay, then go for increment, decrement. Once the value is incremented, so here once the value is incremented means once a becomes 2. Okay, now initialization is done only once, that you know, right? Initialization will be done only once. So it will start with roll number 1. Now once incremented, what will be the roll number? Roll number will be 2. Now you will check that roll number against this given condition. So is this roll number A, is the value of A equal to 2, less than equal to 50? Yes, true. Then again you come inside. Again you execute the same statement block. Again you go. Again you increment the value. Now A becomes 3, right? Now again you check it against this condition. Is 3 less than equal to 50? True. Again you come, execute the statement block. Again you get back to the increment or decrement part. So if you can see, can you understand the flow, how it is flowing? A will be incremented by 1, A becomes 4. So is 4 less than equal to 50? Yes, 4 is less than equal to 50. So roll number 4